how to go from people pleaser to I don't want to call it a normal person, but let's say a more balanced person where you know how to take care of yourself in its cut through essence. That's what the journey of getting more into balance from the extreme of being a people pleaser to kind of being super on myself and then just, not being with people at all and try to kind of, I don't know, I guess, to flip the scales, right? Because my scale has been so much focused on other people, on kind of not putting myself in the center, which is funny because I could be very loud and jovial and making jokes and trying to liven up the party. So it's not that way in the center, because I did that too. However, putting myself in the center to take care of myself, was I even ready, and did I have the energy to do those things? To be very honest, most oftentimes I did not have. So then at some point I ran dry, I ran empty, and then I didn't have fuel anymore. I didn't have fuel anymore to be honest, to pretend to get into a situation where I choose the mask depending on the person that I'm meeting, and there's just a consistent lack of checking in with myself. Before even going, do I really want to go here? What does this bring me? Do I feel like I actually want to be with people? Do I feel balanced enough to be in the moment and take in all of the chaos and all of the beauty and the wonder when I'm surrounded by other people? Perhaps this is a large assumption or a principle that I started to run on, which is that I want to be ready for whatever it is that I'm doing. And oftentimes for me, that means to take my time at home, to get ready in the morning, to take a walk in the park throughout the day, to digest what has come to me. Because now I have the terminology to even do other people, which I haven't tried so much yet, because the programming still says it's scary to exert your boundaries to another person, especially when they could take it as an offense, where the boundary being is, hey, my head is quite full, I need some time, I need a pause on this conversation, and I need some time to digest and to reflect upon it, so I'll get back to say a time, or after I'm done taking a walk, or when we will have dinner, I will find you again, and then we continue. Because the system that I have now started to observe what will happen otherwise, so I'm telling myself that I'm pleasing another person, that I'm showing up for them, that I am giving them love, and then I will come a little bit later. But now I see some things that are not completely true about that, which is first of all, I'm not completely open to receive them. So, when a person might be in need of you listening and I'm kind of full, I'm not completely listening, there's something blocked. They might feel that, they might question themselves. Another thing is that for me, it used to be subtle and now it just becomes instantaneous, or it's always been instantaneous. I just become more receptive. I get frustrated. I get annoyed. I get grumpy. I get kind of just apathetic when I actually don't want to be there. One of my colleagues at work, I kind of don't drink coffee anymore. And sometimes I do. And she says, "Oh, you're drinking coffee today." It feels like oftentimes you drink coffee when you don't really want to be here. And that comment just stuck with me because I think she's onto something. That feels so true. It's kind of getting into that rush, getting over with it. And, actually I really want to be somewhere else with my mind. But I have to be here. So I drink the coffee. And I think another thing about this self-sacrifice, being a people pleaser, being there for other people and just putting yourself last. I think a last point on what is so untrue for it is that I feel somehow that it's not serving. It's not serving. It's not serving me to begin with. And then when it's not serving me, how can I serve another? How can I serve another? Yeah. So then there came this kind of other layer where I do feel that something that might show as very people-pleasing, because that's what my ex-boyfriend would have called it. It was like, "Oh, Lisa, you're people-pleasing again." And what I do feel is a layer of people-pleasing when it comes to coming from being available and being ready to serve, in a sense. Then it's so wonderful. So wonderful. Then I feel like I'm of service to spirit. And that is such an honorable activity to do, and how I want to live life and how I want to go through life. Because when I have served myself and I have become so available to whatever, then there's the joy in the exploring of the mystery of who I am and how I can be of service to others. And that is a type of, I will still call it people pleasing, because that is still the frame of which I'm speaking, even though now I feel the better word coming up is to be available, to be of service. And then there's another layer where it's kind of, seeing a need for help. And, I think that's another thing. When in the people pleaser, Lisa, seeing a need for help, for me to get the validation of being important, to matter, and then to reach out and to give that help, even though I wasn't ready for it, it wasn't necessarily my space to help. Maybe the other person could have even fixed it themselves. So that is a kind of actually me validating myself to give that help. And so this new way for me is being available. And oftentimes in that is also not doing anything, to be honest. To just be around. I have a situation right now where I feel I am being around this person and I feel somehow that there is an urge for connecting or getting in more conversation. But I feel like it's not my need, but I'm available. So I will just wait. So from people pleaser to being available and to kind of being to enjoy my own presence and to do the practice because I love to do the practice. So I do the practice because I love to do the practice. So any of these actions are from love. Yeah. And in that, I honor the other person because when they are ready, they will also reach out. And then this transformative dialogue can happen. Yeah, something like that.